graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
I hate these mumble rappers. They go da-da-da-dee. Catch me in a Maserati. A fucking Bugatti that I don't own. I rent to be somebody. I don't know. Lil Pump, I don't know. Lil Yachty, I'm a jam.
I'm going out because I deserve to go out. And I'm going to get drunk because I deserve to get drunk. And get out of my way.
Commencing tactical assessment. Red Chinese threat detected. Democracy is non-negotiable. Engaging Red Chinese aggressors. Freedom is the sovereign right of every American. Death is a preferable alternative to communism. Self-destruct.
Your podcast, we're fast.
It's just a coincidence that you were talking about the Jack and Triumph show, and I'm here. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, guy who makes all those unlistenable podcasts over at smodcast.com, and you're listening to the Two Strangers, One Podcast. This is podcasting.
You're listening to Two Strangers, One Podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes or on the Stitcher app for Android devices. Please visit twostrangersonepodcast.net. Now, here's Chris Cologne and Paul Pasquillo.
Well, hello and welcome to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
And Jesus, it's been 2 hours and 45 minutes of us trying to get ready to record.
It's all Chris's fault.
Totally. Yes, it's my fault. But for long-time listeners of the show, we're back to the old format. I'm actually on Wi-Fi. Holy shit. Well, maybe not exactly on Wi-Fi. I'm hardwired right into my modem.
Shit fight.
What was that? Oh, shit fight? Well, no, because when the guy came to install the Wi-Fi in my house, and when I say Wi-Fi, I mean, you know, and I'm basically using DSL. I mean, let's be honest here. The wire came into the house through my daughter's room. And, like, the guy gave me a real fucking attitude. So I was like, just install it in my daughter's room and I'll just work my way around it. So, and my apartment's small, so it's not like I don't get Wi-Fi in my room. But I said, just since I'm going to be streaming with you and stuff like that, let me set up a little thing in my daughter's bedroom. Let me hardwire right into the fucking modem. And here we are. How you doing, Paul?
I'm alive. Well, I'm in pain, but I'm alive.
Gotcha. So for anyone who wants to go back and because what I'm going to do, if there are new listeners of the show, once I get this episode out, I'm going to start, because now that I'm actually, I actually have a base of operations again where I can actually record podcasts, and I thank you for years and years of letting me go down into your basement and recording down there. Thank you for not locking me up in the basement.
Well, that's what you think. I knocked you out a couple times.
And so I'm gonna have, now that I have an actual place to record and not have to rely on other people for Wi-Fi and everything like that, we probably have a little more steady stream of episodes. So I'm gonna start blasting, people on email to start listening to the show again. And we apologize for taking so long in between episodes as always, but hopefully we'll fix that.
Yes.
Let me see. And now that I have Wi-Fi, let me tell you, there's so much shit in my house that I totally forgot that, like, I need Wi-Fi for, like my PlayStation 4. And let me tell you, first and foremost, why does the fucking PlayStation need so many fucking downloads? It's not even funny. Like, it goes from Tuesday to Wednesday. Oh, we need a new download. But so many of the games...
PlayStation 3 is the same way, too. I mean, even though that's older than the PS4, like, I feel like every time that my son either gets a new game or something, there's an update with a game, like, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you need 50 upgrades. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to download 13 gigs of information. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll enjoy this game tomorrow.
I mean, what is it? Oh, God. What's the name of the game?
Fortnite?
No, not Fortnite. Everybody keeps playing that. What the hell was it? My son used to play it all the time. God, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Rick and Morty made fun of it. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Oh, Minecraft?
Minecraft, yeah. Every time, I swear to God, he played a game, there was always like an update for it. But there again, like everybody like was playing Minecraft. Everybody's like doing all that stuff. I think people are still doing it, but it's kind of faded off a little bit. So, what's the new thing he does now? He's into what's this other game? It's not Fortnite.
Unknown Battlegrounds?
No, it's called it's Robo something.
Robo something.
I'm trying to think of what the name of it
Sounds
is.
such an old man. I thought I was hip with the Fortnite reference.
He's playing something else, and it's just like, okay, well, I'd have to turn this other computer on that's next to me to figure out what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it? It's like Roblox or Robux or something like that?
Roblox, yeah, which is basically, yeah. And Roblox, not for nothing, Roblox has been around for a while because, like, my daughter's brother, when I lived with, my daughter's mom, like, he just started getting into Roblox, and so that had to be, like, 5 or 6 years ago. But it's still going strong, because I think it's one of those deals where, like, it's a free game, so...
he plays it all the time. He'll take his money that he gets and go and buy, like, gift cards to buy more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, well, I guess you're going to be playing this from now on. So.
Yeah. But I've tried the Fortnite, because, like, I told my daughter, I'm like, yay, we finally have Wi-Fi in the house, because she has a tablet. And when I get my daughter on the weekends, she, it kills her to be in the house. She's at her mom's house, she has Wi-Fi. Here, I'm like, oh no, sorry, you have to, like, play whatever game is downloaded on your tablet. So she uses this app called TikTok, which is like, it's like almost like the way Vine was, where it's like, it's little, like, short clips, 15-second clips, but it's also, I don't know, once again, being a parent, kids are into these Musically, where it's like, it's people like lip syncing to music. So where Musically is based on more music, TikTok is sort of like movie clips and some, obviously some music and stuff like that. And so then now that she could use TikTok and Musically and YouTube, like, she's super duper happy. So I jumped on the PlayStation. She goes, why don't you get Fortnite? And I'm like, I don't want to fucking play Fortnite. And so I said, fuck it. I downloaded it. And dude, I've played one game, and, like, I don't want to fucking go back, because it was all dudes. When I was playing, it was all dudes. What's the best way I could put it without sounding offensive? You know what I'm saying? It sounded like a bunch of fucking, like, dudes that, like, just finished getting high, and but like a real like young guys in their early 20s, but they're real fucking irritating, and they probably listen to Drake, and
they probably listen to Drake, just random, whatever, listen to Drake.
Yeah. It was a bunch of young idiots when I played, because they had the voice chat on. And I think, like, if I really wanted to, I could probably plug in, like, I think with the PlayStation 4, you can plug in, like, pretty much any headset that has a microphone jack and use that as the Wi-Fi, or, if you have, like, a Bluetooth headset. Right. But I don't like, I played one game, and, I probably say this now, and like a week from now, I'll probably be super addicted. But, I played a game, and just listening to the fucking inane banter and shit like that, I was just like, oh, I can't fucking play this game. And then, coincidentally, I apparently today I have plenty of time to play video games, because, and this is scaring the shit out of me, my job texted me today. One of the reasons we're recording right now, had my job not texted me, I probably would be at work right now. They texted me, hey, don't come in today. That's fine. I work for a temp agency, which has me at a manufacturing job. And, like, earlier this week, we had to send, like, they kind of put me in charge of this project. And, like, Tuesday or Wednesday night, they had put, like, a truck didn't come in, so we didn't get the supplies that we needed. And so they basically told me to tell the whole shift to go. Well, they didn't tell me. I had to go to one of the company's managers and say, we don't have anything to do. And so he sent everybody home. Luckily, like, I kind of was, like, able to sneak myself into, like, other side work. I'm like, I could do this over here. And so, but as of today, like, I got a text from the woman from the temp agency saying, oh, you don't have to come in today. Like, you're doing me a fucking favor. Like, I didn't want to come to work. And, like, I'm fucking terrified. But with that being said, something I might have mentioned in the last episodes, and part of the reason I got the Wi-Fi, is I'm starting a new second job. And, it's working from home. It's using Wi-Fi. I won't go into, like, the details of it, but I'm also, like, working for a friend of mine. So it's not bad. I mean, I got my Wi-Fi back, and so far, and right now he can only hire me part-time, but hopefully soon they'll be getting a new contract, and I'll be working full-time, so I can tell my current job to go fuck themselves. But as of right now, I'm kind of terrified. Like, oh sure, just don't come into work today.
Yeah, I kind of had a guy that he was working at the movie theater, and he was actually working at a different job part-time, and he really wanted to work at that other job because he liked doing that job, and he had to wait like a couple years, but eventually they ended up giving him a position. So, I can understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's just disturbing because it's sort of like, and the whole thing is like, they don't, when you're working in a place that's like temp and you see so much fucking turnover, like, part of, like, once again, they put me in charge of this new team to take care of this project. Once again, there was no work, so they sent me back to where I used to work, for the company. And of like the 20 or 30 people, the 20 people or so, or 25 people that work there, I only recognize like 2 other faces. Those are, so in the past like 2-3 months since I've moved to the new project, when I went back to where I used to work, the turnover rate is where I only recognize 2 of the guys, and everyone else is brand new. So it's just, it's really fucking sad how they can just, people are disposable to them, because it's young kids, it's guys who've been in jail, it's people from third world countries. English isn't their first language, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's sort of like it's not like they're going to hire you in a job where you deal with the public, because some of these people, their English isn't that great, and they sort of, and I really feel like they're kind of taking advantage of these people. When like a couple weeks ago, my job had a company picnic, and so all the big bosses, part of the thing of the company picnic was the big bosses were working the grills, and so the picnic was like right in front of the company, but like there's a parking lot there. And you see the first car, Range Rover. Second car, Range Rover. Third car, Cadillac SUV. You know what I'm saying? But the people that are coming into work, 1996 Honda Accord, So it's fucking sad, man. But I guess that's how it is. Let me see. What else?
I'm taking things to the next level.
So you're upgrading your life. You're hitting the gym. I've seen on Facebook.
Oh well, I mean now I'm like drinking Slim Fast for one meal and trying to eat as healthy as I can for the second, and I'm down about 9 pounds at the moment. So
okay.
I mean it's working, but I'm like sitting there going, God, I want a fucking steak. Like tonight, I said to my mom, I'm like, you're gonna get fish, and that's the way it's gonna be. And because I'm hungry. But and
I felt bad because like right before we started recording, I'm like, I got some chicken wings. I'm gonna eat some chicken wings. I'm eating them right in the microphone while you're like, fuck you, I can't have that.
Well, I figured so like my goal is to kind of get down below, or try to get around like 250, and then I don't know how much farther I'm gonna go after that. I kind of just want to get down to that at this point, and then we'll see whatever else I want to do, because then I might just be like, oh, let me celebrate with a steak. Here's a steak in my mouth. I don't know.
I put a steak in your mouth.
Hey. Well, maybe that's not the only action I'll get these days. Hey.
Shit.
So, I don't know. Yeah, no, but see, you want to know how old I am, Chris? You want to know how old I am? I'm so old that I woke up this morning because I was in such pain from working out yesterday. Like, I literally, so I just usually use the treadmill. So yesterday I went and did one of the weight machines, for my arms and shit. And I didn't think I hit it that hard. I didn't think I was like some of these other dudes over in the corner going, oh, like that. I wasn't like whatever. I just did like a light one and then went on the treadmill and did like 2 miles. And then I wake up this morning and my whole left side is like hurting, and like my two muscles are like hurting. I'm just like, God, I'm getting old. What the fuck?
And that's why I don't exercise.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
But and that's what drives me crazy. Like at my job, I got these young kids because they hire like at 18, 19. So I have like 18, 19-year-olds, and they're like, you'll see them like there's one kid, he puts his head down and he's like, I'm tired. I'm like, you're tired? I'm fucking 41. I'm 300 plus fucking pounds. I have a second job in the morning. I get at best 4 hours of sleep a night. And you're telling me you're fucking tired? Why is it that I'm fucking moving, but you're putting your fucking head down? I said, shit, you don't fucking know.
I'm fucking tired by you talking about that. Hey. But yeah, I'm just moving along here because, I just don't want to get the big D word involved in anything because I already told him, I said to my mom, I'm like, if they even tell me that I have diabetes, I'll tell you, this is what's not going to happen. I'm not going to check my blood every day. Fuck that. I'm not going to, I'm not going to, if it's really bad to where I'm like my dad and I have to, shoot up insulin, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'll have my blood taken once a month. You can check my blood, see where I'm at. But I'm like, that's about it. I'm not fucking, no. I'll work out. I'll get it taken care of, eat healthier, and we'll go from there, I was planning around like 35, kind of just, getting rid of the soda and just trying to lead as healthy of a life as I possibly could. But, if I found out how much I weighed and I was just like, well, I guess I got to start now. So I'm trying to like lay off the soda, keep it to maybe like one a day, that kind of shit, and trying not to hurt myself in the process. Where I'm like a fucking old man, like, oh, my elbow, like, what the fuck? Oh my God, like I do feel like an old man. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like me, I'm genetically fucked because both my parents had it. All four of my grandparents had it. I'm not exactly fucking taking care of myself either. And you do catch yourself like getting I have to wake up because I have to go take a piss. So I'm trying to sleep, but my body's like, hey, you better, unless you want to piss the bed, you better fucking get up and go to the bathroom.
Yeah. So I mean, I've had where that's the other thing that kind of pisses me off. Like they'll sit there and be like, well, do you pee anymore? I'm like, the only thing that's different is like, and I've noticed this, older people do this anyways, like you get up in the middle of the night and you go pee. Like it is what it is, unfortunately, and that's what happens. Is like that's the only difference that I've had. I'm not peeing like more than I usually do. That's just an extra thing now. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, that's an extra thing. So now we got to check everything, and it's just like, ugh. Can you just get off of me, please? Like, just get away from me. And I mean, my brothers have had diabetes, and it's just, it's not. People think that when you have diabetes, like you have to shoot yourself up. There's different types of diabetes, type 2 diabetes, where like you could be on the lower end, and you just work out, and then boom, it's gone. You know. So I'm kind of hoping that if that's what it is, that's what it is. My father also has leukemia, so it's kind of like, I got to kind of just make sure. When I do physicals, I have to do physicals like every so often because I want to make sure that if it is present or it is somewhere, that it gets caught early, so that way I can make sure that we're prepared. Because,
go for screening. I mean, just you go for your usual annual checkup, and then just sort of. Which reminds me, I got to go for mine because I'm overdue for like 2 months now. But you got to go. So you could if there's something to catch, you catch it early, so at least it can be addressed.
And that's the thing. Like they caught, what was it? My father. Short little story here. My father, so my father, when he was playing football, he played for the Buffalo Bills. You don't know my father's name because he, in the preseason before they actually, how they have preseason games. In the preseason game, some guy took out his knee and he wasn't able to play football ever again. So you don't know my father. Nobody knows who my father is because, well, he got fucked, basically. So, what happened was they went in and they took his knee and they put a steel knee in. And it's supposed to only last about 15, 20 years. It's gone past that time, and it's worked wonderfully. But what happened was he would get pain in there. So they went and they looked in, and they thought it was the knee that they had to take out. In reality, the knee was actually completely fine, and they were surprised about that. They're like, what the fuck? This is really weird. So the surgeon that did it was wonderful. The thing is around the knee, there was a lot of scar tissue. So they scheduled a surgery it wasn't really a surgery. They just put, you know how the technology is these days. They just put a slit, like 2 or 3 slits, take a little device, go in, cut stuff out with a camera, boom, 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 and then you're done. And it's not that, you don't have these big wounds or anything, and you heal pretty easily.
The endoscope, I believe it's called.
Yeah, I mean, that might be what it is. I don't know what they use now. But my father went, what they do is they screen you before they take you into a surgery just to make sure everything's good. And they went in and they're like, your white blood cell count's a little weird. And they found that he had leukemia, but it was just dormant. It was just sitting there. And my father lately, it hasn't really, I don't know, it hasn't really gone full blown, but it's kind of done this thing where it will go up and down a little bit. So my father has had to get a couple infusions, which, my father one day, instead of staying at the hospital, came home. He gets out of the truck and because when you get an infusion, it just disrupts your whole body. He just shit his pants.
Oh shit!
It was terrible. But that's the kind of thing, that's why I've always been and then this is kind of leading back to what I was saying, why I'm trying to do stuff now, because I don't want to be at his age and be all this shit going on. The less surgery and the less bullshit I have to deal with, the better. So that's why I'm trying to make myself healthier now, and also because of my situation with Kelsey, because I want to kind of be a better person in that kind of situation as well. I kind of, like I told you, one of my problems was sleeping. So, if it is, diabetes has something involved with that, and I have to take some kind of medication to allow me to even lose weight more, which probably might be the case, then, I got to do what I got to do. I just can't fucking, I can't just let this thing keep going. I got to be able to get sleep. I got to be able to be like a normal person and not fucking be sitting there watching TV in the middle of the day and just fall asleep for no reason.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, I'm sure you know where I'm coming from. It's it sucks, but it is what it is,
Yeah, I mean, and for new listeners of the show, it's back in 2006, I got the gastric bypass surgery, and it's at my heaviest I was 360. I went down to 180, 185, and so I mean, I had to deal with all that, the sleep apnea. I had to go for 1 million blood tests to see how my body absorbed vitamins. I had to go for you have to go see a psychiatrist to make sure you're mentally it's not you get the surgery and your life's going to change. And because it didn't, saying after all that, I still had fucking mental issues, and I fucking ate my way back up. I went down to 185. Now I'm floating around 320, 330, and I'm like, shit. I'm damn near at my worst weight, and I might as well not have had the surgery. Well, I mean, it's different because at that time, I was working for the state, and my insurance paid for it. But I think if I'm not mistaken, I want to say the surgery was on paper, mind you, the surgery was $85,000 or something like that, and it's Jesus Christ, I could have hey, but a halfway decent, I could have bought a small house or with that kind of money. But then again, I mean, I since then, I mean, it's not great, but I mean, my blood pressure's been all right. Am I worried about diabetes? Yeah, but I haven't been diagnosed with diabetes just yet. So at least I might have added a year or two onto my life. So for $80,000, which I didn't have to pay anyway. It's probably
it's really hard because I guess, and this is kind of the society we live in. Number one here, this is the number one thing that pisses me off. Healthy food is more expensive than shitty food.
Absolutely.
And that's part of the problem. So, they'll sit there and be like, well, if you eat healthy food, everything is fine. No, it's not, because you're paying, like one of those microwavable meals, like you're paying like 2 times what you would pay for a regular meal. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, why do I want to do that? And then number two, it's just easy if you're going, 2 jobs, going nonstop and doing whatever. It's just easy to pull into a drive-through and get food and just be on your way. You know what I mean? Like, one of the things I used to do, which I think was actually healthy, and I probably will start doing this again, is like Wendy's. Wendy's used to have like dollar side salads and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to like hit that shit up all the time. I'd do that, get some chicken nuggets, throw it in there. Shit was wonderful.
What? I don't think the chicken nuggets are helping, Paul.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying though? It's a lot healthier than me going and being like, okay, I'm gonna eat a burger with 500 bacon pieces on it and French fries.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you got to do what you got to do, Chris. I do. People would make fun of me for being like, well, you did throw the McNuggets in there, but it's like, yeah, but I'm also eating pretty much healthier than what I would be normally.
Like, instead of 600 calories, I'm only eating 300 calories.
Exactly. And that makes a big difference. Like, you would think, like, people sit there and they go, well, that's not going to make a difference. It does make a difference. If you burn, let's say, $200 to $300 calories just by working out, that's how much you just burned. You just burned off your meal. So you're going to lose weight. Your body's going to start, because your body's used to so much more calories, it's going to burn off more of your fat, and then boom, you're losing more weight. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I mean, this I'm looking directly right at this goddamn shake. I mean, it's 180 calories, so calories from fat is 80 is what it says, but I'm getting like 110% vitamin C, 40% vitamin D, 15% iron, 40% vitamin A. I mean, I could go on. Like vitamin E, 110. I could go on and on and on about this, but I mean, I guess, you got to do what you got to do. And I mean, so far it's so good.
And it is like, I mean, look, eating, especially in, American food, sugar, salt, grease, it's a fucking addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you can shake your finger at a fucking drug addict,
right.
But, eating, and at least, like you said, there are no drive-through crack houses. Like,
right.
I mean, there's fast food all over the place.
Maybe in Vegas.
Yeah.
But
you know what I'm saying? There's snack foods everywhere. You go to work. That's like at my job. Like they have vending machines in my job, and it's like, and there now, mind you, there actually is one like health food vending machine. Yeah. And for locals of Rochester or the east, upper northeast, it's a Wegmans. There's a Wegmans. And but once again, it's like you're paying $3 for like the other day I wanted a snack. Where you're paying $3 for this like little cup of hummus, with like these little pretzel chips, and it's delicious. But I mean, like this cup of hummus is like it's smaller than the palm of my hand. Like $3, all it is fucking ground up. Chickpeas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
beans that they're dirt cheap, but they upsell.
It's pretty bad. It gets really bad, and I mean, here's the other thing that kills me too, and it just shows like how slowly I put on this weight, because like I only eat 2 meals a day, Chris. Like I don't eat anything in between. I'm not like I rarely like maybe I hit up the sugar a little bit more, but I don't hit it up like to the point of where I'm like, eating like enough sugar to kill yourself kind of deal. It's just weird for me to be like, because to see myself this high, because I'm just like, I just, and it's probably because of how bad I'm sleeping too. Like, so I think it's just a combination of just like, all of this going on, that this is all, that I've gained all this weight. So, I hope that everything will eventually fix itself. But it's just like, like I was saying in the last podcast with the stupid sleep study. It takes I have to see a doctor first, which they moved that appointment up, thankfully, but it's not until October, and then then they're gonna schedule me my sleep appointment, and then it's just like, really, like, can we just, can we just go to the sleep study and then you can study me there? Like, that's what you're supposed to do, like, if everything's paid by insurance, then what do we care about here? So, I don't know. Yeah. It's just a little, I don't know. I just have to be healthier for me, for everybody, and just so that way I can live a long life, because I don't want to be like these other idiots and have a heart attack at 40 years old or whatever. So.
Gotcha. Well, at least I made it to 41, so thank God for that.
Yeah.
But back, just to lighten things back up again, once again, for me recently, getting Wi-Fi back in the house, it's like, and it's weird for to be doing this podcast for I would say the past 4 years I've been without internet, and so I broke out my Chromecast, which is like this little dealie where you can just you could stream from your laptop or whatever right to the TV. So not to say that there are sites out there that illegally stream videos, you can watch videos that are on pay services, but if you wanted to go to one of those sites, you could pop that in, pop it into the tab, and then stream it right to your TV, and then go back to whatever you were doing on your computer. So that's pretty awesome. And then on the PlayStation 4, because I listen to a lot of other podcasts, and one of the big things out there is everyone talks about being a cable cutter. People why am I paying for cable? If I could just watch Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and all this other shit. Now that being said, I never, I haven't had cable in my house in probably almost 8 years ago. And even back then, that's when I was living with my daughter's mother and the grandfather. So him and I were splitting the bill, so it was okay that we had cable. But so I'm not really cutting the cord because I haven't had cable in so long. Yeah. But there's a couple apps on the PlayStation 4, and I'm pretty sure they're on other devices, and they're definitely available on just the internet in general on the web browser. Crackle, of course, the Sony website. And I mean, is it a little annoying? Is the interface a little blocky? Yeah, but
I absolutely hate Crackle because I hate Crackle because it's what is it? You get a couple minutes of the show or movie, and then it goes to 5 minutes of commercials. Then you do that again, 5 minutes of commercials, and it's just people complain about Hulu having commercials, and I'm like, that is nowhere near compared, because you only get 3 or 4 commercials. And it only happens twice during a show or a movie, whereas Crackle does it several times during a broadcast. So,
but it's free though. I mean, that's
I don't know, dude. I just
that's the arguing point. Is it's free, and with that being said, it's once I do admit that it is blocky, and since Sony owns Crackle, so it's a little counterintuitive. But that being said, I mean, I've used it a bit now, and one of the shows that I've been kind of digging is Super Mansion from the guys who did Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
So at least that was an original, and I think and then originally another one of their originals, which I don't think is even there anymore. I haven't looked it up, but I haven't seen it either. It was the original Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld, but. I mean, once again, it's free. So, you're going to have to fucking deal with ads. It's if you watched regular television, it's, I mean, I guess you said every 5 minutes, but, I'm so cheap and I'm so broke that I'll deal with, the same 5 fucking commercials. Because, the other, the ones that are advertised, they got, the Call of Duty Black Ops. I keep seeing that commercial 5,000 times. There's a new Lara Croft video game coming out. You got the commercial for that, and then Sling, which is basically another. Well, that one that's a pay service. That's like a Hulu. But I think Sling does cable channels and stuff like that. Like it's sort of like a Netflix, but it's sort of like it's basically cable, for $25 a month. But back to other legit, like I said, there are those illegal sites you can visit, but there's another one called Tubi, Tubi, and once again, this isn't an endorsement or anything like that. I just like to let people know, because it's like if I'm that broke, maybe there are other people out there that are that broke. And Tubi is sort of like a ghetto Netflix. Like it's like shit that you find in the dollar bin at Walmart, So it's not new stuff, but you find I think I found the Clerks animated series and Spaced, which had the guys from Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, and what's the other one? I think I came across I didn't even know this was a thing. The Weird Al Yankovic show. Weird Al Yankovic had a show kind of like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse.
Yeah.
So that one, like I said, Tubi is sort of like a ghetto Netflix. And then there's the last one that I've been watching a lot. One is called Pluto. And what I liked about Pluto is that it almost works like a cable, like you watching cable, because there's different channels and they're all streaming, and it's sort of like on a schedule. But a lot of its content is like stuff that you would find on YouTube and stuff like that. Like all the real big YouTube channels, not all of them, I'm saying, is a lot of their contributors are people who had YouTube channels, like let's say Cracked or whatever. So it plays Cracked videos, but to a schedule, so I think that's kind of interesting. So you go and you click on the stream and the show's playing, so it's already in progress. So it's not like it. So what I like about that is that, because when you watch something on Netflix or something like that, yeah, most of the time it'll automatically jump to another show, just sort of. But what I like about this is that if you're watching a certain channel, they have a channel, I think it's called just Stand Up TV or something, where it's comedians, and I could just leave it on there and just watch all day. You'll let it stream all day. And one thing that is cool about Pluto is that a lot of the stuff that they offer, if you happen to miss it, you're like, oh shit, I caught the end. If you go and you can search, you could probably find it available for on demand download. So just to once again, I'm not getting fucking paid for this. This is sort of my public service. Crackle, Tubi, and Pluto. Oh, and we had discussed this right before the episode. There is an anime channel, which I think is literally called the Anime Channel. But and I've seen Hunter x Hunter, One Punch Man, and one other thing. The only problem is that it's subbed, subtitles, not dubbed.
Yep.
And I'm the kind of person where I'm the lazy, ugly American that I'm not going to sit there and read, because usually I have that TV on as my background noise. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit there. And don't get me wrong, a show like One Punch Man is good enough that you should give it all your attention. But I'm doing 50 other things. I don't want to have to look at the screen constantly. But I mean, there is an anime network, so I guess if I want to get caught up, since I don't have Toonami, I can. Of course, I'm pretty sure you'd be like, "Fuck you, watch Toonami," but at least it's there, it's available.
We will take over. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm. And I believe we are about half an hour in, a little more than half an hour in, so we'll be back with more dick and fart jokes.
This episode of Two Strangers, One Podcast is brought to you by Comics Etc., 1115 East Main and North Goodman at the Hungerford Building, door number 8. Find out more information at comicsetc.biz or like them on Facebook at facebook.com/comicsetc1.
Did you ever see a film at such a young age it left you traumatized with cinematic wounds? Necrophilia. It's a dead issue, man. Don't push it. Cinema Psyops is a weekly podcast documenting an ongoing experiment on the mind of an unwilling test subject.
No one should have to watch this movie.
Oh, no one should have to watch this?
No one should have to watch this movie.
Surprisingly, it's not a topic that a lot of people really want to tackle.
I'm shocked, prudes.
I know, really.
Right?
It's the next sexual frontier that no one wants to explore.
I am, in the most sincerest of senses, disappointed in you.
It takes a powerful goddess like Connie jam her arm down the monster's throat and kill it. Oh, I'm still tripping out over that. Even as a kid, I was like, I gotta find a girl like that. Every week, I get a new look of disappointment that I never thought I could get out of her.
Unimaginable. At 12 years old, you should not be watching this movie.
Obviously.
At 13, you should not be. 14, you shouldn't be. I'm not entirely sure even 17-year-olds should be watching this.
Just because you're offended by something doesn't mean that you have the right to demand that it doesn't exist. Watching this film again, I had all of this like little nerd glee with everything that kept
little
popping
history
up.
doll popping up
absolutely.
at you.
So I totally loved this film.
Hey, I know why you couldn't see that. It's because your brain's warped from watching this shit at 12 years old.
Yeah, this is a rough movie. I told you ahead of time when we were getting ready to do it that it was.
How could you watch this shit at 12?
Because physical wounds heal, cinematic ones don't. Listen to Cinema Psyops.
Click and Hit, enhancing the experience for all recreational smokers. Click and Hit is a one-handed portable vaporizer. This smoking pipe has a compact 4-stage design, complete with a built-in, windproof, butane refillable torch lighter. The large burn chamber holds your stash of legal herb or pipe tobacco. Click the button to ignite and inhale as usual. When you are done, put it back in your pocket for later. Smoke anytime with the touch of a button. No more carrying around grinders and tins. You can leave the pipe, rolling papers, and even your lighter at home. The Click and Hit cordless vaporizer is no bigger than a normal cigar, making it the world's smallest and most discreet vaporizer. It's perfect for use in small places or shared rooms. It's efficient, getting 5 to 8 draws from your packed chamber. It's affordable at just $19.95 each. Buy 3 and the shipping is free. Buy 4 and you get the 5th one free. Visit www.click-n-hit.com. That's clickandhit.com. And now for listeners of Two Strangers One Podcast, you can use promo code STRANGERS and receive 10% off your purchase at clickandhit.com. That's promo code STRANGERS for 10% off your purchase.
And we're back. All right, Paul, let's see. What's been going on in the news? This will be the nerdy news.
Superman is apparently... What's his name is apparently not going to be Superman, but really that hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah, Henry Cavill... The rumor is that he's no longer going to be playing Superman for Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers keeps like putting, as of right now as we're recording this, is like, nothing, this is all speculation and we haven't confirmed anything. I wonder if maybe he's like trying to renegotiate his contract. I wonder if he's like sort of like, I'll walk, because DC has really been trying to push this extended universe, and I believe the rumor was, and once again, totally just a rumor, is that Superman was going to have a cameo in Shazam, which makes sense. Shazam, and for people who follow the comics, Shazam is a kid that gets these superpowers, and he makes himself look like a Superman character. He gets the superpowers, and it makes him so powerful that he could kind of choose his own form. In a way, or he chooses his own form at one point, and he kind of bases it on Superman. So Shazam is like, what if you of course, yes, Superman is not innocent, but Superman, he's good intentioned and everything like that. But it's sort of like, what if you had the power of Superman, but only in the body, the mentality of a child? And that's one of the cool. Now Shazam was actually a character from another company, and then DC bought the rights to, it got a bunch of rights, and Shazam was one of the characters they picked up. And so it, Shazam is basically Superman with like the mentality of a child. And so it would have totally made sense to have Superman make a cameo, because it's sort of like Shazam looks up to Superman. You're my hero. And with the way things have been in the DC universe, it would have been cool to kind of have, with Shazam looks like it's going to be more of a lighthearted movie, to be like, like a hero worship sort of deal. And I think that's where negotiations broke down, with the Henry Cavill, they just put out Mission Impossible 5 or 6 or whatever the fucking number they're up to now. And, a lot of people liked him in that, and it was the whole controversy with him shaving his mustache, or coming back and not shaving his mustache for the reshoots for Justice League. But with that, there's two sort of stories connected to that. He's said that he's going to be doing the Witcher series, which is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they say it's originally based on a book, and I sadly I didn't know that originally. But the Witcher, I know they've made video games out of it. I know it's been for PlayStation, and so he's come out. And the funny thing is, like, if you look at the character, especially when he does have a mustache, because the Witcher character has a beard and a mustache, you kind of look at it and you're like, okay, yeah, I can see him playing that character. Apparently, people are excited about it. I'd never played the game, so I'm not like, yeah, when they first announced him as Superman, I was sort of like, another Brit fucking playing. We had a British Spider-Man. We had at the time Christian Bale. When Christian Bale was Batman, all these fucking British guys playing. Garfield playing, Spider-Man. I'm like, all these British guys are fucking stealing American roles. I wasn't thrilled, and I didn't like Man of Steel. But it's not. I didn't like Man of Steel because of Henry Cavill. Watching like Batman v Superman and Justice League, those movies made me like him more. And I think he's a good Superman. It's just it was a shitty script, and not so great directing. Because I think he plays Superman. He plays innocent. Like he does Clark Kent pretty well as like trying to be like kind of a little naive and bumbling and country hick kind of guy. But I just think that they didn't give him a good script. I bet if you gave him a good script, he'd probably do a fucking kick-ass Superman. Had the movies not been so dark and been more about like hope and this is the guy we need to aspire to, which would have been perfect in the Shazam movie. Like this is what we aspire to. They could have done work, and like right when they're turning the corner to get shit done properly, he fucking leaves. But you about to say something?
Well, no, but they haven't left. He hasn't left yet, so that's the most important thing. So. I think that, based on what... I mean, it's kind of funny that all of the major sites that report anything geeky related or nerdy related or whatever you want to call it, like, all of a sudden exploded yesterday, and it was just like, oh, shit. and I think that's a good thing, too, because I honestly think that maybe sometimes, like, the agent or even maybe the actor's like, hey, why don't we do this? Put this out there. Float it out there and let it explode and show the company what they're losing. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they're signing a contract the next day. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back because, I'll be honest with you. Like at first, like you, I really didn't like him as Superman. Mm-hmm. But as I've seen him come into the role, he actually is him and, he's not like... He's not as close to Christopher Reeves as a Superman, which I think is the standard that you look at for a Superman. But he's very close, and I will take that definitely. And I think that he's done a very good job with Superman. I think the problem that happened with him was that a lot of people. There's two problems. Number one, a lot of people that liked Superman Returns. Wanted what was his name?
Shit.
I'd have to look it up, but they wanted him to come back, and I thought, and I agreed with that too. I thought he did a brilliant job with the Superman, but there again, he was still in that same universe that was already set up that Christopher Reeves established. So, I mean, I get how they wanted to move away from that, and that's fine. But number two was also the fact that when they did Batman versus Superman, they didn't have what's his name be Batman, and I think that kind of screwed some things up too. I to this day would still like to see Christopher Nolan's Batman with this Superman and this Justice League. With the way that they ended the Batman trilogy, I think it worked beautifully for him to come back that way. And it also would have been an interesting way to see that Batman go up against that Superman.
But I think the one thing that kind of I think Christopher Nolan was really, really trying to make a Batman if Batman was a real person. He and then to automatically start having well, here's this alien that can fly and punch the moon out of the sky. But here's the thing. It kind of throws all his rules out the window. Where he's like, I'm gonna make a Batman grounded in reality. Oh, by the way, here's a fucking alien that can fly.
But here's the thing. If you think about it, and this is following their rules again, Chris. This is following their rules. This is not something that just we're pulling out of the air. They wanted a Batman that was older. Okay, well, that works perfectly with the Nolan Batman. They wanted a Batman that was a veteran. Same thing. They wanted a Batman that was tired of, putting on the cape and cowl and just wanted to lead a normal life. Guess what? You got your Batman. Mm-hmm. But then they brought in Ben Affleck. And don't get me wrong, I don't think he's done a bad job per se. Mm-hmm. I just think that they probably should have, if they were going to do that, they should have done it in a different way. And I think it kind of backfired in the sense. Because here's the thing. We know that, and sorry, my cat is walking around and making this hard to record sometimes. As I'm sure you experience too, Chris. Mm-hmm. The Wonder Woman movie did vastly better than Justice League. Mm-hmm. The Aquaman movie, which is going to be coming out in November, looks to be a movie like it probably will do just as well. I mean, it probably won't do as well as Wonder Woman, but it will do. I think it's going to do a lot better than Justice League.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, better than Justice League, but not as good as Wonder Woman.
And if it does, Chris, it goes to show you that maybe what they should have done is they should have done what Marvel did. They did this piece by piece by piece. If they would have followed the Marvel example and they said Wonder Woman, and then you have Ben Affleck show up and meet Wonder Woman and say, hey, I need you for something. Mm-hmm. Works wonderfully. Then you have not Justice League, you have Aquaman. Bring Aquaman in. Then you have I don't know if they're going to have Shazam in the Justice League. If they're following the comics the way they are now, I can see that maybe Shazam will probably be a part of it originally. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, but hopefully, once again, kind of following Marvel without really following Marvel. When they originally put out Iron Man, Iron Man was not fucking famous. People knew of Iron Man, but no one was super excited. When they announced the Iron Man, no one was like,
"Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?" I was excited about that fucking movie.
Well, I'm just saying is that when you talk to the average Joe Blow in the street, they know Batman, they know Superman, they know Spider-Man.
Well, no. I have to disagree with you there because if you remember as a kid, for me, they had the animated Iron Man series, and that was what really excited me. And I always wanted, after seeing that, an Iron Man movie and a Fantastic Four movie because if you remember, Fantastic Four also had its own animated.
Yeah, they had those. Yeah, they had a little bit of CGI. And
I'm not talking about the old ones. I'm talking about the ones that were made in the 90s.
Yeah,
I think late 80s, early 90s, whatever. But those. But
yeah, I get what you're saying that you knew who Iron Man was, but I think the general public, fucking average moviegoer before 2008 didn't know or really care about Iron Man. Now it's different. They've proven to be great movies. My point is that let's back away from the big three, the Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Let DC start. Give us a Shazam. Give us an Aquaman. Give us, a Blue Beetle. Give us, give us these lesser known characters who may eventually, especially if you take these movies and make them like what they did with Marvel, where you're taking lesser known characters and they'll blow up. I'm pretty sure if you did a fucking Blue Beetle movie, it would probably fucking kick it, or a Booster Gold, or one of these characters who's lesser known Justice League character.
So that's what you should do well.
And once again, Cyborg, I think before, 10 years ago, no one knew or gave a shit about Cyborg. Before the Justice League, before Teen Titans or whatever. Yeah. For the most part, nobody knew who the fuck Cyborg was. So if you go, let's see, Cyborg is a little bit tainted by being in Justice League, by trying to be dark and shit like that. But Aquaman looks lighthearted. Shazam looks lighthearted. The new Wonder Woman movie, from what we're seeing in set shots, looks lighthearted. give us a light, let them focus on the lesser known characters. But shit, 10 years from now, what if there's a Booster Gold? Saying like people be excited about a Booster Gold or Lobo or Blue Beetle or these lesser known DC characters. Because if you give them a chance to shine, and you get the right director and the right actor that that brings charisma to the fucking role. People will get super excited and they'll be like, we don't need a Batman movie every fucking year. Give me Booster Gold.
No. But it's I always find it hilarious, Chris, and you probably will find this funny too, is that Marvel actually took Batman's the way Batman is and how he formed the Justice League and used it as a formula for Marvel. Because think of it, Iron Man is compared to Batman. So you take the rich guy, and the rich guy went to the Hulk, went to it was the Hulk. What was the next movie after that?
Thor?
No, not Thor. There was
Captain America?
I'm trying to think. Like, he appeared in Hulk to recruit him. He recruited somebody else too, I want to say. God, thinking back to all these years.
Well, because Nick Fury recruited him. He was at the end of Hulk. Then there was like a gap between the movies, and I think they did Winter Soldier. I'm not excuse me. Oh shit! The original, the first Avenger, Captain America, the first Avenger, where he woke up in where he went to sleep and then woke up and he realized it was bullshit. Then he went running out in the street and like we got a lot to explain. And then Thor. They teased Thor in one of the movies because they were like, "Oh, we have this. I have to go take care of this thing in Arizona or something like that." Because like the Mjolnir was.
I think he only recruited one person, but I swear to God, I thought he tried to recruit somebody else, but maybe I was thinking like Scarlet. I was thinking not Scarlet Witch.
Black Widow.
Black Widow, but Black Widow was automatically there. I guess he kind of got her, and he kind of got, what is his name? With the arrows.
Green Arrow?
Not
Green. Oh, no, wait. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Hawkeye. I'm sorry.
Hawkeye. Oh, but there's another one, Green Arrow movie.
Yeah. And, it's established enough. And that's, not to cut you off, that's one of the things that the other rumor is DC is like, all right, they're not happy that Henry Cavill's leaving, but I think they're looking for directors they're looking for a Supergirl movie, which I think is going to be connected to this universe.
So I mean, I really want to see, but I really don't want them to get rid of him. I think he does a really good job. I think that it's harder for them to find somebody new than for them to just keep the same person. So.
Well, my thing is that. Okay, you don't have to have him in the movies. You know what I'm saying? Let's start look at like once again like DC, like Marvel did. People didn't know who Iron Man was. People really didn't know who the fuck the Guardians of the Galaxy were. Give us those lesser known characters, because I think once you give them a spotlight, people are like, holy shit, this is an interesting property. So I think give us a proper Green Lantern movie. Give us a proper Flash movie. Give us a proper Aquaman movie. And yes, we all love Superman, but we don't have to fucking have him in every movie. We don't,
Right. No,
how many fucking Batman movies have there been since 1989?
What was I going to ask? Have you? And I think we've kind of like dug this out a little bit too far, but did you? So you're playing. You have your PS4 now.
Uh-huh.
Did you get the new Spider-Man game?
No, I haven't, and I did have that in my news. It's been all over my feed about the Spider-Man game. It looks fucking fantastic.
I've heard it's like nothing but perfect, pretty much.
Yeah, they say it's very, very, very reminiscent of the Arkham games. The Batman Arkham games. Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum. Arkham Origins, and that's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the Arkham games. I'll even forgive Arkham Origins.
You'll forgive them.
You go around New York City. It's loosely based. The geography is loosely based around New York City, and I think one of the most awesome things that they did was if you go down to Ground Zero, if you go down to where the World Trade Center used to be. and you go across the street and you climb on the building across the street from where the World Trade Center used to be. In the reflection of the windows, you see the Twin Towers. And like if you turn around, you won't see them, but the reflection are in the windows. And like that fucking just pulled my heart out. Like, you know, like that was very, very touching for them to do that. Yeah, I'm
sure it's on YouTube here.
I feel like an asshole because shit, I posted that on my fucking page. Shows you how much you pay attention to my page. But
was it the Two Strangers One Podcast group?
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
What I've been doing recently is to kind of like draw more traffic to the group. I'll post something to the group first and then share it from the group, so people, like, if other people share it, it'll look like they'll hopefully it'll draw more traffic to the group. And once again, welcome to new listeners if they gotten this far in the show.
Yeah.
Because I really would like to start pushing more people to listen, because our last episode got the highest numbers we've gotten in a long while, and I don't know exactly why, and I kind of feel bad that we went so long in between episodes, but hopefully we get the numbers back up.
How many did we do?
I mean, I don't want to get into it because it's not great, but it's better than it has been.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, no, I haven't played Spider-Man yet. I mean, shit, I got the day off. I wonder, maybe I shouldn't be spending my money. But I haven't played it, but it looks really good. I've kind of had a few things spoiled about the game. I don't think it's that much of a spoiler to say that this is definitely, even though even though the game itself is great and complete, some of the bigger, better known guys associated with Spider-Man aren't necessarily in the game. So I think it's setting up a sequel. Which, once again, I'm not, and it was made by Insomniac, and Insomniac, they've made Spyro the Dragon, they made pretty much all the, like, a bunch of tentpole PlayStation games, because that's the one thing that Xbox owners are fucking crying, is because Insomniac, Spider-Man is owned by Sony, and they're not going to put a game out on the Xbox. So
Xbox.
I don't know if somehow I mixed Tupac and Xbox, but
wow, this game has like it looks like reality, like if you were actually really Spider-Man.
Yeah, the character, and I want to say it's like a 23, 24-year-old Spider-Man.
How much are they paying? How much are they cost? Does the game cost?
The game, the standalone game is $60 because I looked it up, and then there's like this like. The fully one where, like, with, I think for you to get all the DLC and everything, there's like there's $100. There's an $100 version, which I think, like, the DLC hasn't come out yet. But like all these games now, that's what they do. They'll put out a game, and then so like if you buy the DLC, if you buy the $100 now, like the second the DLC comes out, you get it. And I think it's one of those deals where, like, it's $100, but let's just say you bought just the main game, and then later on you get all the DLC, you'll end up paying like $120, $140. So you're kind of saving money if you buy the $100 pack, if you plan. And once again, this game looks so fucking awesome that you're probably you're gonna download the DLC.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, I was thinking about this actually today. Like, I can see them, like, totally, like, bringing in every single villain, but just doing different DLCs on it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how these companies are going to make money, like, by getting these games now, because that's the way to go. That's the way to do it. So,
and remember, the Marvel games are not like the movies. So that being said, this can be some sort of leaping board into having other games for other characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, obviously Spider-Man lends itself to being in New York City, but, like, using the same engine and having the same company, you can eventually have an Iron Man game.
Did you see some of the glitches with the game?
I've seen one where, like, the faces look all retarded.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Like, one guy looks like he's taking a dump or something. Like, it's so hilarious. Like, I'm just like, oh my god. Like, because the reason why that's funnier to me is because, back when I was, like, in my 20s, my early 20s, like, I bought the PS2 and I was, like, playing things hardcore, and, like, you would have, like, a Spider-Man game or whatever game, and there would be this glitch, and they're just like sitting there going like that, and you're just like, oh my god, like that's just a reminiscence of like what you had to deal with back then. So, it's just funny to see like, oh look, this game that's supposed to be like really good is like has glitches. So,
Well, a game that big, and I'm not exaggerating when I think they said this game is 45 gigs, if I'm not mistaken. But then again, I mean, it's you're like in almost like a.
Dude, I just looked at the video of where he climbs up to the top of the One Trade Center or whatever it's called now. Liberty Tower. I'm sorry,
Liberty Tower.
Wow. He climbs up there and he's just like looking around the whole city. It's just beautiful. Like it's as if you're looking in real life to it, and that's just, that's probably right there is just worth the game right there. It almost looks like a Grand Theft Auto kind of thing going on, like where you're just like you could end up like just like setting up tanks and shit in the city and whatever fucking not. I wish that would be kind of funny. I've seen like there's some different suits. Like, is there supposed to be? Is there a Venom suit?
Not. I mean, you mean like Black Spider-Man? Like
yeah.
I haven't seen the proper black suit. I'm pretty sure it's in there. Yeah. I've seen like the punk rock Spider-Man. I think there's a variation of I think actually in the game there's the Miles Morales Spider-Man. There's like Spider-Man 2099, which is like Spider-Man from the future. And once again, I don't. When I say the suits, I think those are just skins. Like, well, Miles Morales, if I'm not mistaken, is actually in the game. But I think, you're primarily playing as Peter Parker, and I believe like the future ones and stuff like that, like the future Spider-Man and the punk rock Spider-Man. I believe those are just skins. Those are just,
okay.
And I think, I could be wrong. I think there's like the classic Spider-Man where he's wearing like the hoodie and the goggles and stuff like that. So.
Well, there's a classic. There's apparently there's the Spider-Man suit, but not with the white like spider on the front of it like you start out with. I guess there's a different one.
Because this has been the Spider-Man who's been Spider-Man. I want to say he's like 23. So like, he's been Spider-Man since like 17 or something like that. So he has years on the job. He has experience. It's not an origin story, which is good. Thank God. So, how many times does Uncle Ben have to die?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I liked about the way that they played off Homecoming, because it would have probably thrown off the storyline a lot to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think so. There's that. What else was there? Anything else in the news? I'm trying to think of.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let me pull up my notes.
I can tell you that Venom just went on sale. Tickets are on sale now.
For the Venom movie, Tom Hardy.
I was really surprised that it took this long, because I've heard a lot of buzz around this movie, so I'm hoping. I mean, I'm in the movie theater industry, so I always hope a movie like this will do well. So I'm kind of hoping that this game will do really good, and that we can, it will be such, it'll be something that'll do well in October. Because, I mean, right now, Chris, they're kind of just like, here's 4 movies, brand new movies, and I'm sitting there going, well, only 2 of them are probably going to do decently, and the rest are just going to be like, whatever. So, and then if you don't have luxury seating, you're kind of like, okay, am I going to do really, how much business am I going to do? So I'm really hoping Venom will do well. It's also debuting with that movie that keeps getting advertised heavily with Lady Gaga in it, A Star Is Born.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've seen a commercial for it.
I think that whole weekend's going to be very busy. So I hope that Venom's successful. I kind of hope they try. I mean, they've gone kind of back and forth on if they're going to integrate him or not into this universe. So I really hope if it's successful that they do integrate him into this universe, because Venom has been sorely lacking a a really good part in this universe. Has he ever been part of the Avengers, Venom? I think he has.
I mean, look. I mean, in the comics, everybody's been a part of the Avengers. But now, like I believe the current incarnation, well, one of the current incarnations of Venom is called Anti-Venom.
Yes.
Which it's Venom, but he's like all white. It's like where he's all white with the black spider, and I think like he's supposed to be like a government agent and all this other stuff, sort of like using the powers for good. So, and I'm pretty sure at one point, and once again, every fucking character in Marvel has been part of the Avengers at one time or another. Fucking Doctor Doom, I think, was probably part of the Avengers at one point.
Spider-Man was part of the Fantastic Four at one point, believe it or not. So I mean, they all kind of mix it up a little bit. I'm kind of hoping that, and based on what's going on with Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm kind of hoping they integrate some of the X-Men into that. I just don't know. I hope they don't pick new people. I think they should use the people that have been in the next couple X-Men that are coming out. When is that's a good question. That's a good nerdy thing because I was thinking about this. When's the new one supposed to come out for X-Men? Because
I mean, they had scheduled the whole Dark Phoenix one, which was sort of like Fox was like, we're putting this out no matter what. But I think now the official buyout has gone through, so I think Disney's gonna fucking just can it. Like, I don't think Disney's ever gonna release it. Because why release it why release it under Disney if they're gonna eventually do their own version of X-Men?
X-Men though did pretty well, but there again, yeah, I mean, you kind of fucked yourself over when you integrated the two X-Men into each other, because now you have an established Wolverine and he's not doing Wolverine anymore. So,
yeah, I think they're gonna do their own. Disney, I think when Disney gets it or Disney starts working on it, I think they're gonna start from scratch.
Yeah.
As much as I would love to see Hugh Jackman in a Disney Marvel movie, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Which, by the way, the X-Men movie is kind of. I think if they just left it the way they did, it would be fine. And if they just created new characters. And you can always say, hey, this was a different dimension. It was the Fox universe.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, DC can do it very easily by saying it's a different world.
Yeah.
Which was another thing I wanted to talk about, too, was the fact that when all this Superman bullshit went down, everybody's like, oh, Black Superman. And I'm like, oh, my God, please don't do this.
Yeah, one of the rumors was that Michael B. Jordan...
Yeah.
Was asked if he would be the next Superman, which and I'm just saying, in all fairness, in DC continuity, there is an alternate universe where where Superman is black.
Yes.
But you would have to explain that. Once again, the average moviegoer doesn't know that, and they're just But so I mean, if they happen to go with the black Superman, which I forgot his name, I'd have to look it up. It's something like it's sort of like he's like a weird he's like Zod, but like if Zod, he's Kryptonian, but he's not Kal-El. He's another Kryptonian, and I think he's actually related to General Zod, but he came to Earth and became good. He was never bad. He comes from a bad family, but he comes to Earth and decides to be good.
Right. So his storyline is basically making up for his family lineage.
Yeah, or he's Superman, but then when he finally goes back into his history, he's like, oh shit, I'm related to this butcher or whatever.
He's the Superman from, because we were talking about this on Facebook the other day. He's the Superman from World 2. Earth 2, so
Earth 2, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but who knows? I mean, we can see what happens here. I think, it'll be very interesting to see what they do with everything. So,
well, they were thinking about. I mean, on top of the Michael B. Jordan story, I and once again, I could have read this wrong. I think John Hamm from Mad Men. I think John Hamm has kind of said, well, if they're looking for somebody, So that, like, I can get behind John Hamm being Superman. You know, he's definitely a good. He would, Clark. I mean, Clark Kent. You know, the John Hamm character from Mad Men is handsome and attractive and charismatic, but I think he can try to shrink himself down and be like a little more like nebbishy and shit like that. But it would be interesting to see a John Hamm Superman. If they decide to go with that, I'm fucking all on board. But once again, it would just be like this weird kind of shift where, we're used to seeing Henry Cavill, then there's John Hamm.
Anything else? I mean, I think we're...
Okay. Well, no, a couple things. I mean, just little things to your crush, your Ariana Grande. Did you see her?
But she's. I've always said that she's the next Mariah Carey. Though she really hasn't given me. So I don't think that, like, she's not a bad girl or anything, but I just think that she's kind of. She hasn't turned out the way I thought she would, but I always predicted that she would be a huge star, which she has become. So.
Mm-hmm. But did you see the footage? Like, she was singing at Aretha Franklin's funeral.
Oh, and like Bill Clinton, everybody. Like,
Bill Clinton staring at her.
And then the one reverend was like really holding her tight or something.
Yeah, and he was like grabbing, like the way he grabbed her, like he kind of grabbed the side of her tit. He kind of got some side boob when he grabbed her.
He was, that was
not cool, dude.
That was not cool. And even the Aretha's family was like, dude, you can't be doing that shit. So, yeah, I mean, I was just, I'm just like, there's your perfect example of, the Me Too movement right there.
Yeah.
So, and that's a whole different topic that we could talk about on a different podcast that I would love to.
Oh yeah. I just had that in my notes. I just wanted to bring that up because I know she's your crush. Let me see. I mean, of course, Hurricane Florence. Our thoughts and prayers to our listeners that happen to be in the. Then again, if you have the luxury of listening to a podcast in the middle of a hurricane, I guess things can't be that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do feel bad for the people that are affected right now by Hurricane Florence. Back to just now just real quick nerdy news stuff. I think I mentioned this in the last podcast, but if I haven't, got my press pass for New York Comic Con. As of actually before we started recording, we were talking about we're scheduling stuff for this year.
Ironically, Viz sent out a press release, and I was like, "Oh, guess what, Chris? You're going to be doing that if there's availability here." And he's like, "Okay."
So we are gearing up for New York Comic Con, which is wow.
It'll be a lot of Toonami related things probably again, but I'm kind of hoping that there's. I'm trying to think of when My Hero Academia movie comes out. I think it's in October maybe, but that. The guy that plays one of the characters in there, I'm really hoping he goes to New York Comic Con and we can do that. They usually bring along a lot of the Dragon Ball Z guys, and I appreciate that. But it's like after all these years, I'm like, guys, like, please, like, can you please just bring me My Hero Academia and some other things, so that way I can interview these guys, because, I really, really, really want to interview some of these people and put them on camera and whatnot. So, so I mean, hopefully we'll get a lot of that. There's one guy in particular I want to get, and I don't even know how to begin to get him, but I'm going to try to work my magic and see if we can get him too. I think, yeah, I mean, we're just kind of starting into this. I won't be going this year because of everything that's been going on. Plus, with me trying to lose weight, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to look a little bit better before I appear in another con. So, because I got to, I want my girlish figure to be good. Just try it.
Also, the DC Universe app has officially gone online. I think it's been, where we're recording this, it's been on for about 24 hours now. I really want to get it. I mean, $80 for the year. And then I think if you get it now, you get 2 more months, so you get it for 14 months for $80. Tons of online stuff. I mean, just for Batman the Animated Series alone, I kind of want to get it. You could download that, stream that. A bunch of old DC movies. They're still producing the original content. I mean, not super thrilled about the Titans, but I mean, when it's ready, it'll be on that app. They're doing the live action Doom Patrol, and I know they announced a couple ones, but I know the voice of Robot Man is going to be George of the Jungle, the Mummy. Why am I drawing a blank on the guy's name? Encino Man. What the hell is the guy's name from the Mummy movies? Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser is going to be the voice of Robot Man, and I want to say what's his face that played Fraser might also be involved in the Doom Patrol. I don't know. They're doing a Swamp Thing show, which I was a fan of the '90s Swamp Thing show. So and the '90s Swamp Thing show was very odd and weird and kind of it was cheesy as fuck, but it was interesting. So I'm super interested in what they would do with Swamp Thing, which could easily blend into Constantine and if you could blend to Constantine, then it could kind of blend into the the Arrow universe and the Flash universe and the Supergirl universe, the existing projects on the CW. So DC Universe is online now, and then Kevin Smith was talking about how they have on the channel itself, they have deep dives into characters. You could download here's an hour-long kind of documentary about the Green Lantern or whatever. So there's that. And then I believe also when you have the subscription service, it's along with that, you can use the app and go back and read old issues of comic books. So if you subscribe to Comixology or all these other apps that let you read comic books, you can get the official DC one. I don't think brand new comics are on there, but when you're not streaming fucking TV shows and movies, you could also read comics on your phone or whatever. What's that?
There's John just shared a image of the new Iron Man video game, and ooh.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You'll have to look.
Now you got me. All right, I'm gonna look right now. Shit. All right. Let me see. And shit, what else? Because I see you got me all distracted.
Good.
Why am I not seeing? Is it on his page or is it on the ACPN?
It's on his page. It's on John's page. He shared it.
Oh, okay.
John Galbo.
Yeah. Which earlier you were talking about diabetes, and well, he's public about it. So it's not like it's blowing him up or whatever. But he's one of those poor guys. If I get diabetes, I got it because I'm a fat fuck. I feel bad. He has it because fucking just genetics and shit. That's so fucking wrong. Why can't I just find it? It won't let me just get to his damn page.
I don't know what to say.
All right, there we go. All right, sorry. Pretty sure this is fascinating for the listeners at home, but hold on. Ooh, yeah, okay. Just give us a full-blown Marvel. Oh no, Iron Man. Okay, concept. So once again, even if this is DLC for fucking, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be DLC, but you could introduce the Avengers in the Spider-Man game as DLC, and then use that, to fucking give us a straight-on,
exactly,
Avengers game. Okay, so let me go back to my notes real quick. Oh, and the biggest one, I wanted to save the biggest for last. The new Captain Marvel shots have been, officially released. Entertainment Weekly put out, and of course, luckily they fixed the suit. The screenshots they were giving us before, the behind the scenes, was her with sort of like a greenish outfit, and I wasn't a big fan of how it looked. And I thought maybe they're using the green to kind of maybe they'll do some special effects or something. But the Entertainment Weekly, they show her in the proper blue, yellow, and red costume. And fucking the Skrulls. I can't fucking believe they got Skrulls. They got Skrulls, motherfucker. I'm super fucking excited. That we finally got a chance to see Skrulls. Because Skrulls are shapeshifters. I think this is going to introduce the element in the Avengers, the Marvel Extended Universe or Cinematic Universe, where Skrulls are shapeshifters. I think now that they've introduced the Skrulls in Captain Marvel, I think they are going to reveal either an Infinity War or another fucking Avengers movie somewhere down the line that somebody was a Skrull. Someone was faking who they were all this time, whether it be Black Widow or Hawkeye, or maybe even like a big one like a Tony Stark or something like that. Somewhere down the line, they're gonna. I have a strong feeling that they're gonna reveal one of the Avengers that we've known all these years was somebody bad. So that's going to be interesting. And then of course, the Skrulls. When I think of the Skrulls, I don't think of the Avengers. I think of Fantastic Four. Because one of the other main bad guys that the Fantastic Four always fought was this guy named Super Skrull, which is he was a guy that absorbed all their powers. So he was like as strong as a Thing. He could set himself on fire, like what's his face? What is it? I want to say Johnny Blaze, but I think that's wrong. Not Johnny Blaze. The Human Torch. He can make himself invisible, and he could also stretch. The Super Skrull. So once again, when I think of Skrulls, I think of Fantastic Four. So once again, with Marvel getting the rights to Fox and the Fox movies, they could definitely use the Skrulls to fucking be a jump-off point to introduce the Fantastic Four. So between having a fake Avenger, someone who's been a Skrull and alien all this time, and being also a jump-off point for the Fantastic Four, I am super fucking excited that they got Skrulls in this bitch. And that's about it. It's everything else. I think I don't want to get into whole Colin Kaepernick, and fucking Nike. That's bullshit. My godmother passed away, and I'm really fucking bummed out about that. And it really sucks that I don't have a car and I couldn't go down to New York City to go to visit. Not New York City, but downstate to go to her funeral. That kind of fucking bummed me out. But those are the other things in my notes, but it just kind of throwing it out there.
Yeah, sorry about that, dude.
Yeah. And then, and then also the show Castle Rock ended the 10-episode, I wouldn't say miniseries. I believe they've been approved for season 2, but season 2, from what I understand, the series is going to be like an anthology series where like sort of like a American Horror Story and shit like that, where this first season is going to be, it's not connected to the first season. The second season is not going to be connected to the first season, and it's going to be its own thing. I think they kind of teased at it. Castle Rock kind of stole from Marvel. There's a mid-credit scene on the last episode where they kind of teased where they're going with season 2. And here we go, spoiler alert. I think they're going to start focusing. They're going to do like something loosely based on The Shining. But I was kind of disappointed with Castle Rock. I mean, for the twist that they kind of put towards the end, and I won't spoil that. It's like, okay, it's interesting and it's a little supernatural and it's a little bit of. I thought it was going to be something a lot more nefarious. And once again, I guess that's my fault for going in with different expectations. That's pretty much it with all my notes. Anything else you want to throw in there?
No, I'll throw some things in when we get out of here. So.
Okay, so let me go to. Let's wrap this up.
That's
what she said. Please visit twostrangerspodcast.net where you can find all things show related. You can find links to our iTunes page. So if you have an iPhone, an iPad, or an iPod, you can download us on your Apple devices. If you don't have an iPhone, an iPad, or an iPod, you can download us on the Stitcher app. That's STITCHER, the Stitcher app for Android devices. Well, now I could actually listen to the podcast in my house because I have Wi-Fi. But if you don't want to kill the data on your phone and you don't want to kill the battery on your phone, you could download them when you are in a Wi-Fi spot, like me, when you're at home. Download them and listen to them later. Put the listen later option, download when in Wi-Fi. And, when you're out and about like I do, when I'm commuting or when I'm taking care of stuff around the house, I'll listen to podcasts. So you can do that. And our original hosting site, you can find us on SoundCloud. Just go to SoundCloud, search for Two Strangers and One Podcast. I make the episodes downloadable from the site, which reminds me that has to get renewed soon. You can find us on Facebook.com/Two Strangers One Podcast, all spelled out. We want your money. We need your money. And soon I'll probably be setting up a Patreon account. But if you can't do that, at the very least, share this episode on your page. Share our page on your page. Everybody's on Facebook. So share us. Once again, that support the show by just sharing us on your page or sharing this particular episode. Let people know. Spread the word. once again, I'm going to be emailing people and trying my best to reach out to social media for people to listen to the show. Share and like this episode with your friends. If you want to write us, long-time listeners of the show, we've been doing this for 6.5 years, going on 7 in a few months. We have one guy who writes the show, Oscar. He usually writes to fucking curse me out and say what a horrible, disgusting human being I am. And here I am. I'm finally recording on Wi-Fi in my own home, and he's not responding. He's not writing in. So I wonder if he will write in and see anything about me finally not being a piece of shit and finally having Wi-Fi back in my house. So once again, if you want to write us, you can write us at twostrangersonepodcast, all spelled out, at gmail.com, twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter at Stranger Podcast. I think we're having issues with that. I try to address it, but I'll stay on top of that. And also, if the podcast goes back about a year or two on SoundCloud. If you want to listen to episodes before that, you can find old episodes on YouTube. Just go on YouTube, search for Two Strangers One Podcast. You can find my Stranger vlogs. Now that have Wi-Fi back in my house, I can post the 2 or 3 that I haven't edited yet, but I will edit soon and put up online. You can listen to my audiobook, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road. That's also on our YouTube page, broken down into chapters. And that's about it. I can't think of anything else. I acquiesce the floor to you, sir.
Well, so you can find me on Twitter at Paul Biscrillo. You can go to Instagram.com/Paul Biscrillo. I've been starting to use that more, so what the hell, go there. Let's see. You can email me. It's paulbiscrillo@toonamifaithful.com. Oscar sure knows how to do that. Anything from Oscar?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'll double check now, but he hasn't written anything.
Yeah, it's like he takes him like a month or two sometimes, and then he finds the emails. And then obviously, if you have Discord, if you're on the Toonami Faithful Discord, you can just at me at Paul Biscrillo, and yeah, you can do that as well, and I'll respond hopefully. So the only other thing I wanted to say real quick is I have. Toonami is slowly expanding on Adult Swim, and probably it's looking more and more like they may actually completely take over Saturdays now. Mm-hmm. So I wrote an article about that. If you guys are interested in it, it's ToonamiPeople.com. Just you want to look for the article that says could Toonami take over Saturdays on Adult Swim, and take a read of it. I think it's a good article, and I think you guys should check it out. But yeah, that's about it.
And then, so you got your other podcast, the Toonami Faithful Podcast. Of
course, the Toonami Faithful Podcast.
And your other website, geekyinc.com.
Well, we're going to be talking about Geeky Inc. There's going to be some things happening with that site. We'll see what, unfortunately, the future is of that. So I'll talk about that on a different day. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, like, hey, people, because you get a lot of movies. And I was like, and you're like, well, Chris, you don't have Wi-Fi, so I can't even give you the codes for the movies. So I'm like, now you can give me the codes for the movies so I can do movie reviews for the website. And you're like, oh, fuck that.
Well, I have a lot of digital stuff, so I can probably give you access now that you have the thing. So,
yay!
We'll see. But, all right, so that's I think that's it.
Yeah. We certainly hope you guys enjoyed listening and had as much fun as we did recording. Thank you for listening to Two Strangers One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
Don't be a stranger.
Peace. We're out.
Bye. You should be fapping.
Online for Chris now.
All right, here we go, man. Go ahead. You want to read
Double Jackpot.
What is it?
It is a self-published book by Christopher Cologne.
Chris Cologne? Smells good to me.
But
look at her. That broke that fucking cold little exterior. He's like, hee.
But it is spelled Colon.
Him punny.
But Double Jackpot is a book about a comic book artist, Eric, who is in a loveless relationship with a materialistic
I feel you, Eric.
Lynette.
Oh, fucking. Are you sure I didn't write this? Sounds hauntingly familiar.
He starts cheating on his girlfriend with a more creatively supportive woman, Nadia.
Well, I gotta meet her. Where's the Nadia?
There's your summer girlfriend.
Summer Nadia is Nadia.
Nadia?
Yeah, I think Nadia's spelled with an A.
All right.
Both Lynette and Nadia play the double jackpot, the largest payout in lotto history, much like the recent Powerball. Both girls play his birth date as the winning numbers. Eric is now stuck between two of the country's richest women. Who will he choose? It's not that simple. This is a clever fucking idea,
Yeah, it
man.
is.
Look at her, fucking. She's impressed.
I am.
She got some summer reading. Christopher Cologne smells real lovely with an original idea. This is. I've never heard this before.
I haven't either. This is a self-published book, much in the indie spirit as Kev's Clerks.
Oh, you don't even need to name check me. This is just a good idea. You could stand on your own, man. You don't even have to be like, hey, remember Clerks? This is nothing like that. This is way more original than Clerks. This is a good idea, man. Why didn't I think of this?
I need something to read. This book is part of the Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games Trilogy Book 2. Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, coming soon.
Right on, man. It's part of a trilogy. This is the first part.
Way to write, man.
He's seeking a literary agent. Motherfuckers, anybody out there? There ain't no literary agents listening to this show, I assure you, sure. Sure. I assure you, sure. But somebody know a literary agent? Hook a motherfucker up! Chris Cologne come up with an original idea. I should tell Raskin. That's a good fucking idea, to be honest with you. That's a fucking rom-com right there. Megan, get Raskin on the phone. Isn't it possible to get Raskin on the phone? No?
Yeah.
I want to run it past him, man. I want to, and if it happens, I get a taste, Chris Cologne. I get a whiff, if you will.
The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com.
That's lulu.com.
I understand that. I just want to spell it out.
Normally one says it, that spells it. Still, lulu.com. What is that? Do you know what it is?
I don't know. All right. The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com. Search for Double Jackpot Christopher Cologne. A paperback version of the book is $15 and a PDF file is only $5.
$5 is
Yeah.
insanely inexpensive. 15's not even that bad for a paperback version.
No.
This is $1 million idea right here. Like a movie about a dude who fucking is stuck between two chicks, both of who play his birthday and win the lottery. Come on! I can see that trailer. Chris Cologne is on to something. Nobody else can smell it but me.
I'll read it.
Thank you. I'm going to make that smelly joke.
I know. You're trying to get me to laugh again.
It worked once. Double Jackpot is a self-published book by Chris Cologne, man. It's the first book in his Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games trilogy. Book 2, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, should be coming out soon. Get all the information at Chris Cologne, like a motherfucker.
I
and
will
his
totally
book,
read this.
Double Jackpot. I'm serious. I'm going to recommend that to fucking Raskin. How is that not a movie? You know what I'm saying? This could be a sexy movie. You could do an R-rated version. There could be nudie in it, and you could show them fucking both chicks. Maybe a little penetration. Maybe a butthole shot. No butthole, no care.
I would like to formally apologize to Christopher Cologne right now.
No, sex sells. Chris Cologne will appreciate that. He's like, thanks for throwing a few buttholes in there, man.
Don't forget to check out twostrangersonepodcast.net, your one-stop resource for everything show-related. You can find links to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher. You could also find links to buy my book, Double Jackpot, on twostrangersonepodcast.net.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.